The tropics are relatively quiet out here today. High pressure really dominating most of the western Pacific following our storm system, which brought heavy rainfall across the Philippines. And we are still seeing scattered showers and a few thunderstorms in Luzon, that shear line on the tail end of our cold front here. But the primary, as far as weather impacts is concerned, is our low pressure area now passing by Okinawa. And it was a blustery, wet night Friday night into our Saturday morning, but now that is moving off towards the north and east. So some of the main points for today: tropics are chill for now. I think that's the best way to say it. Large storm off the Japanese coastline, and we do have that shear line still extending down towards Luzon, bringing showers, a few thunderstorms. By the way, thank you very much, everybody on Patreon. I'll talk more about that coming up in just a few moments, so watch to the end of the video if you can. By the way, here's a fun fact. Look at this tabloid here. This was me in pop culture 3 years ago today in the Philippines. Manila pop culture bumped into Maine Mendoza in Niagara Falls, and it just blew up. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. Check out my Facebook and Twitter if you want to see more information about that. I know you people in the Philippines probably find that out pretty interesting, what came of that. Anyways, here's our low pressure area. It is blowing up towards the east of Okinawa. This is what we call difluence. Basically, you can kind of see how this system is kind of expanding from a single point here, and it's blowing out like a, just kind of like a fan here. The thing is, in the upper levels, you have that upper level support. It's this exhaust that's allowing that deepening, that convection to continue to go up. So thus, right now it looks like this here on our Saturday, but as we go ahead into Saturday night, it does continue to deepen. The convection continues to build, and this thing's going to be kind of a little beastly storm. The good news is really the Ogasawara Islands. We're going to take the biggest impact, maybe parts of the Izu Islands south of Tokyo, but back towards North Tokyo itself, probably going to see kind of a wet, messy day. Might even get some wet snow in some of the higher elevations as the skirts away. Meanwhile, back towards the west, if you are in the southern Japanese islands, by Saturday night, things are going to dry out pretty nice here in Okinawa. And even as we go ahead into next week, this actually should say Tuesday, looking well ahead by Tuesday, dry air is going to continue to filter in, and we're going to be seeing really just a calming impact from high pressure and just a drier air continuing to push in. And this is by Wednesday. See how the progression Tuesday now over to Wednesday. The waves across the Western Pacific. Check this out. 20 to 30 foot waves are indicated in red. We're talking about, 1-2 story buildings here. From the west coast of the United States all the way out to Japan and the Philippines, pretty persistent 20 to 40 foot waves. Imagine shipping containers, having to be somebody who's on a ship and you have to get across really quick, and that's going to be it's all thanks to this deep storm system blowing off Japan, that high pressure building in behind it, and it is just kicking up the waves from end to end. I would not want to be on a boat out there, so I thought that was interesting to share with you guys. A little out of the realm what we typically talk about, but I think a lot of you are here because you want to see what's happening weather-wise, not only just in your neck of the woods. Let's talk about the extended forecast. I'm showing the Philippines here because still off the coastline of the Philippines, we have 28 to 30 degree temperatures. A little bit of upwelling north of Luzon thanks to our little tropical depression this past week, but overall, it is still balmy there. It's about 1 to 3 degrees above average. Now, a few reasons for this. One, tropics, Philippine Sea, it's always warm there, but the above average has a lot to do with the La Nina, which is in place, and it still is in place. But the big question is what comes next? Well, we do have it peaking here into November over towards December. And let's look at the last, since 1950, all our La Nina years. They gradually rebound as we go ahead into spring with our threshold for La Nina right in there about March and April. So if you just extrapolate based on the other patterns, we should start to come out of this by March over towards April into May. But definitely not going to go into an El Nino. That's only happened once or twice. We did a mad swing from La Nina over towards El Nino. What this tells me, though, is that typically we're probably going to be in a La Nina through the summer, or at least neutral, almost La Nina, which also would influence the typhoon forecast for this upcoming year, meaning that we probably could have more tropical systems than normal. Keep you guys posted. I got a typhoon forecast coming out, seasonal outlook. I'm going to put that out pretty soon, actually next month or two. So just stand by for that. Thank you everybody on Patreon, though, who's been helping out. And you know, even those typhoon forecasts, a little bit of money that you guys helps pay for graphics, helps pay for long-range forecast. So definitely big help to all the super typhoons. Big thanks, I should say, for all the help from the super typhoon guys here. We actually have our first Q&A coming up this weekend as well. One of the big things we're talking about is our graphic support. This is one of the graphics I am looking at. I actually just had a little conference with the guys that produce this. You know, we're almost there. Also talking with IBM as well. You know, and somebody asked me last week, they said, Robert, you keep on talking about how you're getting new graphics. Well, it takes money. I have been, if you notice, go back my videos a year ago, they were totally different. I've been investing not only in what you see here, but the lights, the camera, the actual hardware that produces this. You know, making a green screen, a chroma key is not easy. Thus, also, I'm also talking about this right here, which I got a few people asking about this as well. And if you are a person that is looking for an advertiser, you know, check me out. Just send me a message on my Facebook or Twitter. Anyways, kind of a more casual update here today because we don't have a typhoon to talk about. So I like these ones. They get a lot less views than normal, but we have more of a conversation, and that's what I like about it. So if you're watching all the way to the end, this kind of feels like a long one. If you're still here watching me, be sure to comment and say, you know, Rob, I'm still here. It was a great video. Or you hated the video. I don't know. Maybe you hate watched all the way to the end. That'd be unusual, but, you know, some people do. I don't know. I don't judge you. Stay safe out there. As always, thanks for watching. I'm wrapping this one up. I'm done. My son's over here giving me a crazy look. Bye, guys.